Tonight, a people without representation, no member of parliament, and now no district chief executive. The people of Santrokofi, Akpafu, Lolobi, and Likpe, or Saul, have been left angered by the president's decision to leave out their district in nominating heads of MMDCEs.
So, they have really muddied the water. So, I believe that let's allow for space so that we see the direction, because all that they are doing is unconstitutional and it will not hold.
We hear from the local government minister who is promising tonight to fix the problem.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
And Top Story is always brought to you by Vodafone. Together we can. Now, they are the only group of citizens in Ghana without representation in Parliament. Now, they also are without a chief executive nominee to lead their recently created district. Tonight, the people of Santrokofi, Akpafu, Lolobi, and Likpe, or Saul, are up in arms, angered by the president's decision to leave out their district in nominating heads of MMDCEs. Now, they are the only district now without a nominee. We can now hear from Joe Ada. He's a co-chairman of the Joint Steering Committee of the Akpafu Lolobi traditional areas.
So, they have really muddied the water. So, I believe that let's allow for space so that we see the direction, because all that they are doing is unconstitutional and it will not hold. You understand? Because that is the reality on the ground, because as we speak now, Guam constituency have never been created. And we don't even know what is happening, because you don't force people into a region that they never operate. The fundamental issue is Article 5.2, yes, which mandates the president to create a new region or a region. And based on the fact that there should be a petition, and in the case of Lulubi and Akpafu, there was no petition. And the Honorable Dambuje admitted that there were some impersonators, that this in some, I don't know. You see, the whole thing is so muddy that I don't even know where to begin.
And we'll hear from the local government minister shortly. He's been speaking on our sister station, Asempa FM, addressing this particular issue. Details shortly. But my colleague, head of the research desk here at Joy News, Raymond Akwa, joins me in the studio on this complexity that has arisen on the back of this. So there are 260 districts across the country.
Yes.
Right? All of them had been filled. All these vacancies have now been filled by the president, pending the approval by the assemblies.
Certainly.
With nominees.
Yeah.
We discovered tonight that there's one more district that has no nominee, and it turns out to be the Guan district. As we've heard there, the residents are again complaining, and this turns out to be the same district within the constituency within that district, which is the Guan.
Yes,
it hasn't been created area. Actually. That's our area. Without the representation.
It was created. The understanding was that it would actually have representation along the line, but it didn't happen.
As in a member of parliament.
Yes, as in member of parliament. So, for example, all of these were part of the 33 electoral areas within the Hohoi constituency. 13 of them were pulled out from the Hohoi constituency, and they were supposed to be the areas that were going straight into the, what they call a SAL. And first, they even said they were considering Buem. Then said, no, we will bring them back to have their own district, which will be the Guan. So in and of itself, they were supposed to also be independent of the other constituency. But that did not happen.
Yeah.
In fact, if you trace the history of it, it was on the 6th of December, the day before the general elections, that the Electoral Commission wrote to the people in the area, issued notices, and specifically stipulated that the election will come off, but without them participating in the area that they were given. So, in and of itself, prior to that, they really thought that they were going to have what they call elections, the previous one. In fact, they actually insisted that they were supposed to vote on the 7th of December, but that did not happen. This was because the EC announced that voters in the Guan district will only vote in the presidential, but not in the parliamentary election in the Buem constituency. So they are then transitioning them into Buem without giving them parliamentary rights within that particular area.
I see. So that is the controversy surrounding the voting fact. So they didn't vote in the parliamentary elections, although they voted in the presidential election. So they're currently without a member of parliament that has been subject of a lot of court actions.
That's true.
Then now there's another complication that they don't have a district chief executive nominee, almost as if they've been ignored or forgotten. How did we get here?
This is just because, you see, when the conversation started right from the beginning, now we can go back. When we created regions and the president formed the committee, they made a recommendation. The idea is that the voter region will be separated and the OT section will be taken out from that. It was these 4 traditional areas. They were pulled from the Hohoi area and pulled from the voter region and made part separate into the OT place specifically. When they pulled them out, now specifically 30th November 2018, the referendum for the creation of the regions happened, and this one, it was laid before Parliament. A subsidiary legislation commission dealt with it later on, and the president, through February 2019, the 1st of February, the president made CI 112, 113, 114, 115, 6, and 7, creating the OT, which is the 112, and other regions clearly. The only difficulty is that by 17th December, when the EC was doing the district level elections, the EC had actually brought its own regulations, which was CI 119, and delimited boundaries of various districts and placed SAL in the Jasikan district in the OT region. Now,
but Jasikan, in the nomination that was announced, they have a DC.
They have a DC.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
but that's not the entire story. There's more.
That's really the confusing part, because you could not have put them in the Jasikan district and then giving them a different, what they call it, a constituency. So this is why they had to fix the problem. Now that's why the Guan came in to fix the problem. So Guan was separate them from the Jasikan and give them some level of independence away from what used to be the problem you are fixing. And Guan became the issue because when they separated them, they didn't know where else to put them. So now the areas that we are contending now, after going to court, after resolving the problem, as just a couple of months ago, we are in September, just last month, that's August, the minister went there, inaugurated what was supposed to be the Guan district, and said we're going to be part of what is currently supposed to be the districts with the number of district assemblies given the district chief executives and made independent, and their structures being built for them.
Yeah, in fact, to be very specific, this was on the 15th of August.
Yeah.
This is less than this is just like over a month ago.
Yeah.
Where the local government minister was in the area. So they created a Guan district.
Yeah.
And they saw Santro Kofi.
They constituted this Guan district.
Okay. And the promise to them was that they had to they created it. They had to not inaugurate
the district.
So that's all was left. Fix the date for the president to come and inaugurate it.
The district. Yeah. So the expectation was that as we have taken up to 9 months to deal with all the issues and all of that, the appointment of who is district chief executive for the district would include Guan.
So which means that we'll then end up having 261?
61.
Districts.
In fact, on the day that the creation of that Guan district was being done, and the minister was speaking to it, he was very clear that they are the 261st, what they call a district in the country, and that they should be proud of having been the latest and the newest district, fixing the problem, and he admitted there was a problem, fixing the problem of where to place them permanently.
In fact, the minister also announced what the district capital will be, which is Likpe Mate.
Brilliant. That's really where Obeda Sama is from. So
that, if the president had nominated the chief executive, he would have served from Likpe Mate, because that will be where the administrative. So now we have a situation where they are without a representation.
The other difficulty was that the assembly was not really constituted. So you need assembly members, right? Okay. So you needed to have assembly members who will come then and vote for the nominee of the president if one is appointed.
But that had not been done. That also hasn't been done. Yeah. Okay. So there's a lot of complexities that has necessitated this, and one man who this is the a constituency which is right in the midst of all this. It's Kofi Adams' constituency, which
Wait.
is the Boem constituency. He has been raising a lot of the questions on the back of what had just happened, and he joins us on the telephone line right now. Mr. Adams, thank you for your time here on Top Story.
Good evening, Evans.
Yes. So we just heard earlier from the residents, their leadership in the association, raising concerns about the fact that they also don't have a district chief executive nominee. You are pretty close to this particular area. This something that you foresaw?
Well, government, through its actions and inactions, have brought this problem onto itself and the people of Central Kofi, Akpafu, Lolobi, and Lipe. It was very, very clear right from the word go that the promise leading to adding them to OT was that they were going to have their own districts and they were going to have their own constituency. Following the referendum, government and its institution completely went to sleep as far as efforts to create the districts and the constituency was concerned. It took agitations upon agitations for the then local government minister, Hajia Halima, to issue a statement that government was still committed. And so the instrument, the LI that was to create those districts, was sent to Parliament very late. So it matured somewhere around 20th of November 2020, by which time the Electoral Commission, unfortunately, could not create a constituency for them. That explains why they could not vote in the 2020 general elections for a parliamentary candidate, because they didn't have an existing constituency, whilst they had an existing district. And one constituency cannot be in two districts. So it was impossible to say that they should vote in Buim, because Buim was under Jasikan district. The Guan district have been created. And so if you ask the people of Guan district to go and vote under Buim, you are saying that one constituency was belonging to two districts. And this is unconstitutional. It's not possible. It's not doable. So the Electoral Commission found that a stopgap measure by asking them not to vote, though me in particular have campaigned there. Now the problem is that there are assembly members. I heard you say that there are no assembly members.
There are already?
The assembly members have been elected in the 2019 district level elections.
You mean for Guan?
Assembly members were also elected in the 13 electoral area that makes up the Guan district.
Oh, I see.
However,
Just for clarity,
they have not been inaugurated up to date. And as a result of that, government has not added its component of 30% appointees in order to have the district complete so it can be officially inaugurated to function. So you can have a coordinating director, you can have all the necessary officers existing. Of course, the LI, which established the Guan district, came with the district capital. So I didn't know this argument about, we didn't know where the capital. Lipe Mate was known as the capital when the district was officially created in November 2020. Lipe Mate specifically, at least to be correct, is not the hometown of Dr. Beda Samoa. Dr. Beda Samoa is from Lipe Pala, a few towns away from Mate. So Lipe Mate is different from Lipe Bala. Lipe is a traditional area with many, many towns. I think it's the largest traditional area in this Guan enclave that we are talking about. So the local government minister, Honorable Dankweku Bochwe, has to move quickly and act fast, faster than he is doing. He must act fast in that area than he is doing. The district must be inaugurated so they can have a district chief executive so appointed or nominated for confirmation. Then we can now move to the next step. And the Electoral Commission itself must also start moving faster to create a constituency. Whether they will vote through a special by-election or what to have their MP, I do not know how that solution can be found. Because, for the best of my knowledge, they did not take part in any general elections to elect members of parliament. So they still do not have somebody representing them. And they could not be represented by the MP for Buin because they are not, per se, and you cannot
which is your good
one
self.
constituency in 2 districts.
So, I mean...
So the minister must act fast. The minister must get the district inaugurated. You don't need a president to inaugurate the district.
Well, what is the
you don't even need a minister.
What is the practice though? I mean, because to get this underway, if it's inauguration, I wonder, is that even a legal injunction, a legal necessity?
Perform that for him.
You said who can perform that for him?
I am saying anybody can perform that function for and on behalf of the president. You don't need to say that you are waiting for the president to be available and present before you inaugurate the district. No, it is not. And the district could have been inaugurated long ago. It could have been inaugurated long ago. And the regional minister could have acted as the district chief executive whilst we wait for nomination of a substantive DCE.
Yeah.
That could have happened. Indeed, the immediate past MCE for Hogwe actually hails from the Guam district. He is from Lipe Bakwa.
I see. Well, in the last few minutes, we are getting some clarity from the local government minister on this. He's been speaking on Asempa FM, our sister station, a short while ago, in an interview with my colleague, Obi.
Fortunately for us, na a Kajuma na ye first, no regional reorganizations. Near no more, and so also be because of the peculiar nature of Omo area, and they acquire fast, and Mamma Bay 1 unit. Omo back catch and penny. Nanado than Kufado, then they say, Omo Beppe said that should be on district. It was led by Nanum and a very high statesman that Obeda Samwa say Omo Pesa. And German Penny, a show Sampa, processing area of a Momo district. And then Yamin Chadi, Abba, Yawi, who's Obian Swa, Unkasawati and what. So, Sanin and Omkusia, a lot of consultation. I had to answer a question in Parliament. Yes, sir. Ana matu anamaya ko em sebe boshomene kakrani makwa kusia all the traditional chiefs almost four key traditional areas stand to fi apafo lipe and lolobi yes tie nyina yikusia e wo lipe emrana omempenye di ato di creative district no lipe mate and district capital tie nyina kusia wo okay and any payfo nyina kasa say do the inauguration jo omakoche assembly dan omo nua baako omo ba baako so ni dan wasi anko de be ni fie no o de amase ni fanya assembly nti nyina ekọ hwe ho nyina after that there will be other offices, other departments. Yes. And the concept of during the regional creation, I can say many of the departments may not necessarily center the regional capital. No? But maybe some so it be an Department of Education director beko it be a example. It be an agric bekoha, it be an health so bekoha say in omina so interesting no press how to host the way no be actually infrastructure omo and we are medical offer on buildings. Say, Mopa officer, Mumfa, Webetown. And you buy a queer summit in the year. I mean, I'm a dear Nimocoyano. Your son didn't pay free Nana to our office. Because only be pursue workers alcohol. It also coy, echo share no coy meeting. And I feel so you tell the card team for your ministry, any the regional coordinating council. Ako share structures a wohono. Baby house, Madame Dama, so not a bit here repairs 1 or 2 be a bit here say, now my yin area report about. Is I hope one will say, Bakaku, we say, Juman Katakata, Wunina, you repair near Koyano. It's no dear. Young fancy it is done. It's a question of signing my wing. Yes.
So that is Dan Butcher there speaking on Asempa FM a short while ago, and his explanation there is simple. And just to give you an interpretation of what he's saying, he says we already have that district in place. We've met all the people that matter in that part of the region, including Dr. Beda Samwa and others. What is left is now for the president to inaugurate the district. We have created the district already. The legal requirements have been met. And as soon as the region is inaugurated, the president will appoint the district chief executive for the district. And the key thing he says there is that the what is holding up this process of finalizing the assembly is the structure. They've had several recommendations. They are now in the process of trying to ascertain the state of these structures. They've had verification meetings, and technical people have also been sent there. And they also send a human resource that will eventually man the structures once they've identified and finalized it. If that is complete, then the process of inauguration will happen, and then of course we'll move on to having a nominee. Ms. Adams, so that is a challenge that the local government minister lays out, for which reason this has delayed, and is promising that it will be fixed very soon.
Evans, I will not accept that explanation. I was the one who asked the question on the floor of the House for him to come and answer. And I repeat that they have either intentionally delayed the process or have caused this mess.
Why would they delay it deliberately? I'm curious.
Well, even the process of creating the district, if the people have not started agitating, they went to sleep. And after the creation of the OT region, they only just added those electoral areas under the Jasikan district. And the Jasikan district was responsible for them. They have to start agitating for Honorable Hajia Alima then to issue a statement before the process of bringing the LI to Parliament or sending the LI to Parliament commenced. So that is why I'm saying they intentionally have delayed. Because look at the time OT region was created. But let's leave that aside. Another point that must be made clearly is that this whole idea of having offices scattered, this one there, this one here, will not help a young district such as that. It is not going to help. I am on the Public Accounts Committee. We have been engaging with districts. Even districts that are housed in just one particular area, we have difficulties with sharing of information and all kinds of documentation. Then you are talking about spreading them all over in such a difficult place that communication network is a challenge. You are going to have so much difficulties. So the minister should really review this whole idea of this office will be here, another one will be in Asafu, this one will be in Central Kofi, another one in Lolobi, and so on and so forth. Let's have one standard place. If they want to have some sub-office somewhere to manage certain activity, they can really do so. It's not going to help the district to quickly develop when we spread out the way they want to do. It's not going to help.
I'm grateful. Kofi Adams. He's the Member of Parliament for the Boem constituency, advocating on behalf of the people of Seoul tonight, as they've been left without a district chief executive nominee. And of course, still on this developing story surrounding the district assemblies and the nomination of the district chief executives, the MMDCEs across the country, I'm pretty sure you've noticed the violence in some parts of the country that have greeted the announcement of the nominees. A particular place in question is Tripoli. There's more from there later on Newsnight because of the individuals who were disappointed are now calling for calm. We also learn a bit more about what may be prompting these disturbances, as we learned that some of the names had been confirmed and put forward may not have been on the list approved by the party's own vetting committee. We'll get into that on Newsline very shortly. But I want to bring in the National Youth organizer of the New Patriotic Party, Harry Nanabuachi, who joins us on the telephone line. He has a statement out tonight calling on the party's rank and file across the country to remain calm. Mr. Nanabuachi, thank you for your time here on Top Story. So we've seen what has happened since the nominees went out in Tripoli and other parts of the country. How is the party handling this?
Yes, Evans, it's quite unfortunate, especially what is happening in Tripoli. Obviously, we need to understand that under Article 243, the president has the sole responsibility to nominate MMDCs. We had almost about 2,000 people aspiring to be DC.
Hello, Nanabi. Forgive me, but we have a terrible connection to you. We'll try and rectify that very quickly and return so we can have a conversation on this all important subject. But Raymond, what is it that the party is asking the rank and file to do across the country?
So it says, pursuant to Article 243 of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo on 19th of September 21 nominated for the prior approval of members of the respective assemblies qualified Ghanaians to occupy the MMDC positions in the 260 MMDCs across the country. It says the National Youth Wing congratulates all the MMDC nominees and subsequently wish to admonish the youth of the MPP to unconditionally accept, respect, and uphold the thought through choices of the president.
Okay, Nanabi is back on the line. Nanabi, so here we are. You want them to accept it. Some are rejecting it because they feel that they've been let down. How do you respond to that?
Yes, I think people should be measured in how they express their disappointment. And we should know that there are laws in Ghana. If you go on destroying public property, you know that there are laws here. What we are calling for is calm. We had close to about 2,000 people aspiring to be MMDC. And the process started right from the regional level to the national level, and then ultimately it ended in the bosom of His Excellency the President. His Excellency the President cannot appoint all 2,000, aspirants. Myself, I had some few people I thought that, they could be MDCs. So as I speak to you, Evans, I'm even disappointed. There are some I'm happy. Some youth organizers are in. Some friends too are out. So please, the rank and file of the party, especially the party leadership, we are calling on every single member, especially the youth, to be measured in how they express their disappointment. His Excellency the President has spoken, and he is the ultimate person to make these nominations. And then we are also calling on the security agents, because sometimes some people can take advantage of this situation and cause mayhem. There are some miscreants. So we are also calling on the security agents to be on alert, because clearly there are people who would also want to, take this thing out of hand. So what we are saying is that the security should also be on alert. But then what we are saying is that all of us should accept the president's choice and let's work towards their approval. But Evans, let me also say that this was expected. We knew that some people would be disappointed. But let me also commend largely. We have had some pockets of protest here and there. But largely, I think that the party ought to be commended on how they have accepted the choice of His Excellency the President. Let's work together. Time is fast spent. The year is almost ended. We cannot be spending much time on these things. That is the choice of His Excellency the President. We must respect it. We must work with him. We must make sure he succeeds. We are calling on the party supporters, especially the youth, to calm down, accept it. Let's work towards the approval.
And very quickly, you were part of the vetting process at some point. The main concern people have is that people were vetted. They saw the vetting process happen. It was transparent. The party tried to do something different on this, and yet people have been appointed who did not even go to the vetting, or they were not even recommended by the vetting committee. Isn't that the problem?
No. You see, when we went to the regions, before we even start the vetting, you are told that what we are doing is only aiding His Excellency the President. His Excellency the President, after, would also do a lot of consultation. There are people, we even went into their background. We did so many things afterwards. So the fact that we came to the region, for me, I even went to Bono East, and then we vetted some people, and then we sent our recommendation to the national level. They also did the same. They sat on it. They also vetted all these people, and then ultimately it ended with the president. Yes, that is the process. But we told them that what we are going through is not the ultimate process. The ultimate process will be His Excellency the President nominating whoever he pleases. But obviously, this exercise will also aid him. So 260 persons nominated. Certainly, the process aided His Excellency the President. But there are some few places, because of some consultation that went on, it may be different from what came from the region. So I don't think this should be a problem at all. I don't think it should be a problem.
Thank you very much, Nabi. He is the party's national youth organizer. Newsnight starts in a minute.